right. Looks like our audio is good. Looks like the video is coming through. It looks like we got some folks here. Hello, MCDJ, ACDC. Hello, Low One Bo2. Hello, Big Gay Dave and Sparkster and Casey and Tony and Big Gay Dave again and Rob Vegas. Nice to see you there. Hello, MCDJ, ACDC. Hello, Matt Rubin. Hey, it's Chris from Comic Tropes. Chris sent a Mad Lib that I still hadn't gotten to. I don't know if I'll get to it tonight, but I really need to do that. Hello, White Vegeta. Hello, Josiah. Nice to see everybody this evening. Nice to see everybody. This is the first day of November. It's the day after Halloween. It is also the day... Hello, Matt Edwards. It is also the day that Timmer starts his charity drive. The link for his video is in the description of this live stream, so make sure you check that out and participate. I will be participating. Hello, Alex. Hello, Roberto. Nice to see you. From Nuevo Laredo, Mexico. Hello, Mexico from the United States. Nice to see you. Thank you very much for being here. So charity. You can participate, and I will be participating, and I will be contributing a prize, which I have here, and will show you. And I will also give to a charity myself without expecting a prize. I won't be entered in the drawing, but I will contribute as well. Hello, Tony Jackson. So the way that it works is you can give to any charity that you want that benefits children. You send proof of that donation to the email address, and let me get the email address correct. The email address is joechristmascharity@gmail.com, and you'll be entered to win the prizes. Thank you, Josiah. The charity, I was just describing that. Hello, Jumpin' General and Andrew, the guy so nice they named him twice. So it, like you can give to any charity that you want. It's just any charity that benefits children. It's like a Christmas thing. All you have to do is just send like a receipt or something, proof of your donation, to the email address that I gave you, which is, once again was joechristmascharity@gmail.com. You can cover any like self-identifying information if you don't want to share that. But Timmer's video, including all the prizes that you could win, is in the description of this video. But I wanted to share, like, I'm contributing a prize myself. This is one that I had offered before, but we didn't hit the targets. So I'll offer this again. This is a Joe Fest 2019 exclusive figure. So we'll take a closer look at that. Hello, Joe Fan. In a way, I guess that's open to interpretation. So yes. I mean, it's pretty open-ended as far as like what charity you give to, but the goal is to help children around Christmas time. So that's the idea, and it goes until the end of this month, and then there will be a drawing. So I'll remind you a couple of times tonight. I have show notes. I actually made show notes, so I will try not to forget anything. For instance, where is it? Last week, where did it go? Hang on a second. Where's it? Oh, the stupid cat knocked it off again. The blind box from last week, I forgot to open it. Where did it go? Dang cat. Well, we may not open it this weekend either, or we may not open it this show either if I can't find it. It was just sitting on here, but it kept knocking stuff off. Hang on a second. I gotta find this. Oh, found it. So yeah, last week I had show notes, so I wouldn't forget anything, and I still forgot something. I forgot to open the micro figure box. We had opened so much stuff last week. I forgot to open this. So we'll open this time, a little bit later. And Yes, so, and it looks like, Hito Chung from Texas. Hello, Texas from the United States. Thank you for being here. It's really nice to see everybody. Hito asks if I was able to get the Defiant. I still have an incomplete Defiant. What is ironic is that I will be attending the convention assembly required in Des Moines, Iowa this weekend, and apparently there will be a Defiant on sale there. It's not complete, but it's more complete than the one that I have. But at the moment, I am it's a little out of my price range. I can't quite grab it, but my Defiant is, I mean, I made some progress on it, but after like doing a real honest assessment of it, I decided that like some of the major pieces need to be better. I need to like start with a slightly better base vehicle. Some of the larger pieces are not in very good shape, and that's something that's a little bit more difficult to do. So, you know, if I had the fundage, I would absolutely jump on that Defiant that's supposed to be there this weekend, but I'll have to work on that. Yeah. Yes, exactly, Joe Fan. Defiant is incredibly expensive. Hello, Dale Santaford. Hello, Photo Viper. Hello, WWJD85. Hito Chung has the first Defiant comic book appearance. Yes, Assemble. Yeah, that's right, Rob. What do we call it? 788ers Assemble. So there's an annual Joe convention. You know, it's not necessarily entirely G.I. Joe, but it's more G.I. Joe focused convention in Des Moines, Iowa, called Assembly Required, put on by Codename Iowa. And I've been to one. It was before COVID, and then everything got crazy. But I'm back. I'm going back. The one that they have on sale is, well, I think it was like $800, which is really not bad. It's not complete, but the parts that it has would replace a lot of the parts that I need. So I'd get a lot closer to complete with that. But I just can't do it right now. So anyway, but I'll still admire it. I'll go and I'll admire it. So yeah, by the way, if you are in the area, and yes, and if you would like to meet me in Des Moines, please come by. They're doing Friday and Saturday, but I'll be in town late on Friday. Unfortunately, I'm just going to miss everything on Friday because of some poor planning on my part. Did not think ahead. Did not check my personal calendar when I was scheduling stuff on my work calendar. So I'll be there late on Friday, but I should be there all day Saturday. Thank you, Josiah. Kokomo Toys have several Defiants in the commercial. And Kokomo Toys is like, that's a huge toy store. That's one place that I would really like to visit. Everybody that's been there has said it's absolutely amazing. They've been sponsors of our friends What's on Joe Mind for quite some time. It's not an area of the country that I'm able to get to very often, but I really, really want to go. I really want to see it. And yeah, I don't doubt that they had Defiance. Chris says the $800 one is complete. It is not complete, but it's close. It's closer than the one that I have. And with the parts that I think on mine that I need to replace, it's probably a pretty good deal. By kit bashing the two of them, I would have one that is really close, really, really close to complete. But it's just not meant to be this time. Let's see. WWJD85 says, do you collect G.I. Joe stuff like the board games, lunchboxes? Yeah. Yes. In fact, let's see. Where's actually, Chris from Comic Trope sent this. So yeah, I have this board game. Haven't played it yet. That seems a little complicated, but when I actually get a couple people here, maybe I can play this board game. And the lunchbox, I don't necessarily get all of the lunchboxes, but like this 1982 lunchbox is like has some of my favorite G.I. Joe artwork anywhere on it. Like I just really love the artwork on this, and like this team shot here. I think that's great. I really like the artwork on this lunchbox. And this does have, the thermos. So to answer your question, yes. Chris says if I can raise $400 on a single live stream, he'll donate the second $400 for the Defiant. That's a pretty good deal. I don't know that I've ever raised $400 in a single live stream. See, the way to do it is to have like some kind of interactive motivation for people to super chat, like drinking for dollars. I've done that. That was fairly popular, but I don't really drink anymore. One time I snapped an entire box of pencils, Dreadnought style, but I'm out of pencils. Oh, hello, Toy Connections. Nice to see you there. Thank you for being here. Always nice to see you. Hello, Gray Fox. Hello, Evan. And I think I said hello to Jumpin' General, but if not, hello, Jumpin' General. Hello, David Sharp. I hope I didn't miss anybody. So yeah, I think if we're doing things in order of importance, I would say Timmer's Charity. Check the link in the description of this live stream for the charity rules. And Assembly Required, because it's coming up quite soon. It's coming up this weekend. I will be driving up on Friday, but based on the time I have to leave, I'm going to miss all the festivities on Friday, it looks like. So Saturday, this Saturday, November 4th, come out and say hi, I'd love to see you. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody. Hey, there's Dagon. Nice to see you, Dagon. Always happy to see you in here. Yeah, Toy Connections. We've got some cool YouTubers in here. We got Toy Connections. We got Chris from Comic Tropes. We got Sparkster in here. We had Photo Viper earlier, and probably others that I may have missed. I'm sorry if I missed you. But hi everybody. We got. Let's go ahead and do this. Before I get too far afield, because like I said, I have show notes. I sort of did show prep a little bit, believe it or not. But before we get too far down the list, I do want to show this off. So this is one of the prizes I will be donating for the charity giveaway. So this is this rather mangled fellow is Unmasked Snake Eyes from Joe Fest 2019. This is by Scorched Earth Creations and Matt LaCroix. Thank you, MCDJ, ACDC, Next Classified Choice Creation, not already in the works. Doc and Cesspool are mine. Thank you for everything that you do. That's a fair point. So I know, let's see. Let me think about that. You know what we really need is about 5 or 6 more classified versions of Snake Eyes. Give us 5 or 6 more classified versions of Snake Eyes. Come on. But some of the figures, the classified figures that I would have most wanted, they are actually already in the works. So now I've got to get farther down the list to think of what I would want to add. So it uses a Black Major custom Snake Eyes body. The head, though, that's a custom sculpt and custom painted, and it's just incredibly highly detailed. I think it's awesome. And since it's for charity, I think this is a worthy thing to give away. I think they made 100 of them. And of course, this one is open. And they were, at the time, only available at Joe Fest in 2019. So that's an exclusive figure. I'll show you what it comes with. One thing that comes with is the plastic bag that it came with the Joe Fest sticker on it. So you know it's authentic. I did keep the bag. I know, like, this is, you would probably normally throw this stuff away, but I like to keep stuff like this because it is actually part of the history of the toy. So there's the plastic bag. It comes with a black timber with a silver stripe on his back. It comes with a masked Snake Eyes head. So you can swap the heads out. You can put a masked Snake Eyes head on him. And it comes with the backpack and the sword, which I want to be careful not to break. So, and not drop it. So, and the backpack has some paint on it. Has some nice gray highlights. And it has a black Uzi. So those are the accessories. And last but not least, it includes the Snake Eyes Unmasked Commando file card. So it comes with everything that it would come with, if you had got it in 2019 in Augusta, Georgia at Joe Fest. So that is my contribution to the prizes for Timmer's charity drive. So I'm going to keep reminding everybody, not everybody is in position to give to charity, and that's okay. If you can, I hope that you will. If you can't, then one thing that you can do that doesn't cost anything is just share the video, so we can put the G.I. Joe fan community's best foot forward, and that's always, I think, a very positive thing. So that's that. I just wanted to show you this. I haven't had this out for a while. This has been packed away, stored away for a while. So it's been a while since I've gotten this out. It's just a really cool thing. And that is it's a custom body. It's not like a literal 1985 Snake Eyes body. That is cast, and it's recast, so it's new, but it's in the same basic mold as the 85 body. But the real star of the show is the custom head sculpt and paint, showing the scarred Snake Eyes. So really, really lovely work. Really lovely work. So what do we got? Anybody else sneak in here? I don't see... Oh, hey, there's Sergeant Slaughter's Slaughterhouse. Well, guess what, Sergeant Slaughter's Slaughterhouse? It's just quite fortuitous that you stopped in here. Oh, and another, by the way... Sorry, another tangent. Sergeant Slaughter's Slaughterhouse has a GoFundMe so that he can get to Joe Fest next year. So make sure you check out Sergeant Slaughter's Slaughterhouse's GoFundMe. Oh, hello, Bad Ape. Nice to see you. You didn't miss anything, Bad Ape. You just missed everything. But still, happy to have you here. Thank you for being here. Hello, Lester. Hello, Diosoth. Hey, Diosoth. Nice to see you here. Since Sergeant Slaughter's Slaughterhouse is here, just happens to segue into the next topic on my show notes here. My classified Sergeant Slaughter action figure has shipped, and it will arrive. It's supposed to arrive tomorrow, which means it's going to be too late for me to show it on the show tonight. Oh, thank you, Christian. Nice to see you. Christian Bricks. Greetings from Denmark. Greetings, Denmark, from the United States. And I will have to add, Christian has been a long-time supporter of the show. I'm so grateful for everything that Christian has done. He's sent stuff as well. And, in fact, a number of the people that are in the live chat right now have really done amazing things to support the show. So I'm extremely grateful for that, and thank you. And that's another thing that I want to talk about later in the evening is some gratitude that I have for everybody, and for a few folks in particular who have kind of gone above and beyond. So thank you for that, and thank you for all you've done for a very, very long time. Sergeant Slaughter. So if Sergeant Slaughter had arrived one day sooner, I would show it to. I could show it to you right now. But no, it has to arrive the day after I do my live show. That's just how it happens. That's just how it goes. That's my luck. So Sergeant Slaughterhouse says G.I. Joe then wrestling. It blew my mind when I found out he was a real guy. And the Sarge should, as far as I know, should be at Joe Fest in 2023. That is always in Augusta, Georgia, in June. So my plan is to be there. So hopefully I'll get to see Zazel and Sarge, and I believe Kelly Slaughter is supposed to be there this time too. That'll be awesome. Hopefully, like this year, Ron Rudat was there. I always like seeing Ron, and I got to double back. I got to backtrack just a little bit. Going back to talking about Assembly Required, Ron Rudat will be at Assembly Required. So if you want to meet Ron, he's a really cool guy. He'll have some prints and stuff that you can pick up and get signed. But I mean, this is the guy responsible for a lot of our favorite G.I. Joe action figures and some of the vehicles as well. He's also a very accomplished artist, so I very much recommend meeting Ron if you can. And there's another Ron that's going to be at Assembly Required, and that is Ron Wagner. So for fans of the G.I. Joe comic book, Ron Wagner was a comic book artist who worked on G.I. Joe in the 80s, and he's actually my favorite G.I. Joe comic book artist. I as a young person reading those books, I was just very enamored with his skill and his style. So Ron Wagner will be there. That's another person that I have met before, and he's just really cool guy, and so I'm really excited about that. So I backtracked. So even with notes, it's hard for me to stay on course. But hey, Chris from the Comic Tropes is here, and for his live show yesterday, he showed off his Hasbro selfie figure. And I gotta make a couple comments about that, because early on, I thought that was going to be a really fantastic idea. I definitely wanted one. I thought some of the early criticisms were unfair. I mean, you gotta judge these things when you actually get them. But based on everything that I've seen, the criticisms of the selfie figure appear to be accurate. So I try to stay optimistic. I try to be cautiously optimistic, but this is one instance where the critics seem to have been right about the selfie figure. The likenesses, some people are really happy with their likenesses, but not everybody. Comic Trope says, I love the selfie series idea. The execution leaves a lot to be desired. Yeah, that's exactly it. And I haven't ordered one yet. I feel like I should. As a reviewer, I feel like I should at least get one and to see for myself, and I probably will. But it's also $60, and I don't really want to shell out $60 right now. And like, I got the app, and I was like, I think I've mentioned this before, but like, none of the renders of my face have been very good that I've gotten so far. None of them have said, yes, that's the one, I'll buy that one. So we'll see. We will see. Bad Ape says, I want a 1/6 scale figure of myself. See, it's a nice idea, isn't it? But my concern is that the technology isn't necessarily there to work with all kinds of faces and features. Hello, Ryan Sweeney. Nice to see you. You snuck in there. I didn't see you, but hello, Ryan. Hello, Johnny. Hello. Who else? I saw somebody else come in here. Somebody snuck in here. Well, anyway, whoever snuck in here that I missed, hello. RTD says, live on tape from Hollywood. Hello, Hollywood from the United States. I'm live, but not on tape. Tape is rather antiquated nowadays. Now we stream everything. Now everything's digital, but still somewhat live. In fact, I am live. I am live, and I am alive. In fact, I can feel my pulse, so I can confirm. Hold on a second. Yeah, I'll get back to you on that pulse thing. Anyway, but I think I'm alive. I might be. At least, hello, Eric. Nice to see you. Thank you for being here. I hope I'm alive. And I hope this isn't all just a fig Newton of my imagination. They don't sculpt facial hair, and the hairstyle choices don't count for most people. Yeah, that's what I'm running into. It tries to like make my beard like either like a shaded, or it's like a bright white, outline. Like, okay, here's the hello, Rob Irizarry. Yeah, we'll start over. In fact, this is the starting point. So imagine, all right, that movie What About Bob? And Richard Dreyfuss in that movie? The beard that Richard Dreyfuss had, that really sharp, white beard that he had, that's the kind of beard that it wants to put on me on the selfie figure. And that's not what I got. It's not what I got. I'm a bit more fuzzy and a bit more salt and peppery. But it just doesn't do that. So yeah, the idea is nice, but I'm afraid the technology just may not be there yet to do it. Another thing is that one of my plans was to take the head and put it on a different figure. But apparently that you can't do that. And that's another criticism that was brought up early that I thought might not necessarily be a real criticism. Because I figured no way would they make it difficult to pull the head off. Right? Because like your average, classified 6-inch figure, your stalkers here, you can pop it. In fact, you have to pop the head off and in order to put on some of the accessories. But no, apparently that's not the case. And that's another kind of big problem for me because, while it's fine to do a selfie head on a Snake Eyes figure body, Snake Eyes is actually, I don't know if you've heard this. I know, like, you may have not caught this from the most recent movie, but Snake Eyes is actually a character most known for not showing his face. In fact, that's what makes this figure rather extraordinary, is because usually Snake Eyes doesn't show his face. So it's perhaps a little ironic to do a selfie series figure on the body of a character that doesn't normally go without a mask. But that would have been fine. That would have been fine if I could have put it on like a Cobra Commander body. But apparently, that's not the case. So I have to do some soul searching. I've got to do some thinking. maybe even save my pennies, because I do still feel like I should get it as a reviewer. I feel like I kind of have a duty to get these things and look at them. So I probably still will. I'm just not incredibly highly motivated to do that. Yeah, exactly, Rob. It's not like it may never be possible. I mean, in theory, it ought to be possible. And they do action figures with really great likenesses of actors for like movie figures. We've got some. I've seen some. But when they do that, they're dealing with like high resolution images and like artists who can, make sure that all of the fine details are correct, so it looks just like that person. So like the idea is there. It could work, but I just don't think it can work with like the images that you get from your phone. I don't think we're quite there yet. So anyway, I didn't want to go too deeply into the selfie series because others have talked at length about it, and I'm increasingly starting to agree with those who have criticized it. So that's. But anyway, that's what I have learned, and that's why I haven't ordered one yet. But I still probably will at some point. Hito says, how would you react if Hasbro released a flag-sized battleship and they name it the USS Montana? Well, I think that would be cool for one thing, but think about how expensive that would be. People did not like the price tag on the classified HISS tank, and this would be like 15 times that size. What would I think? I think that'd be really cool, but it would probably, I probably couldn't afford it. Most of us probably couldn't afford it. But I will say this. I was a fan of the comic book series, and in the comic book, before they had the aircraft carrier, they had a freighter that they used for like naval operations called the USS Jane. And I always wanted a toy of the USS Jane. That would have been prohibitively expensive, but I just always thought it would have been cool to have a USS Jane toy. But at any rate, yeah, it's interesting thought, interesting idea. Rob says, think we're a few years away. They're also making 1 million Robert Downey Jr. heads for mass retail. Iron Man can't cover tooling costs for a one-off of me. Yeah, see, that's that's a really good point. It's not like it's theoretically impossible, but I just don't. We're not there, and we're probably not going to be there immediately. So. Anyway, those are just my thoughts about it, at least for the time being. I should be a good reviewer and order one myself. I probably will. But I also always, I'm very honest and frank about the item. Oh, thank you, Bad Ape, very much. Thank you for the super chat. How do you feel about these Sideshow Collectibles G.I. Joe figures? The Sideshow figures, I only have one of them, but the Sideshow figures are really high quality. Really high quality. And they have the price tag to go with it. And they're in a larger scale. They're in like the 12-inch scale, which actually scales really well with like the 1960s and 70s Joes, the big Joes, but just amazingly detailed. A price tag a bit too hefty for me to collect those, but I have seen a few of them, and they're just really, really very impressive. So I could really see why some collectors would jump on those. They're really very cool. They're very well made. What else we got? Next on my notes, Did I say hello to the figure 6-pack? If not, hello, figure 6-pack. Let's see. There was an Admiral Ledger, but no Admiral Keyhaw in the cartoon. That's a good point. They had a new character rather than the character that actually came with the toy they were trying to sell. Okay, so since we were briefly talking about classified, in this Hasbro 1027, Emily and Lenny showed off some of the old 2-ups from the 80s, and one of them was Chuckles. Very interesting paint. It was a 2-up Paint Master. And the paint on Chuckles is very interesting. His Hawaiian shirt, the flowers, they were originally painted really huge. But apparently we are going to get a Chuckles in the classified, and we are going to get a Shadow Tracker. Now, Shadow Tracker is a later figure, not one that I have a lot of great attachment to, but I understand that that fans of that era really like that figure. I'm not as interested in Shadow Tracker personally, but Chuckles, absolutely. I would really look forward to getting a Chuckles and interested in seeing what they do with them. Now, lately, classified figures have been pretty faithful to the vintage design, with some exceptions. So I expect it will probably be pretty close to the version 1 Chuckles, I would assume. So we should get a Hawaiian shirt, something with loud, obnoxious colors. We should get some, probably olive drab BDU trousers and some boots, something like that. Neat looking. That's a good way to describe it. A neat looking figure, Shadow Tracker. It's just, and I don't have anything against Shadow Tracker. I just don't have a lot of personal connection to it. But see, RTD1 loves Shadow Tracker. See, there you go. See, that's what I'm saying. It's a popular figure for fans of that era. So you're gonna get your Shadow Tracker. You're gonna get your Chuckles. Also, I think it was funny that Hasbro called that event 1027, because outside of the United States, that would be wrong. That's not. It's 1027 because that was the date, but that is a date convention that isn't really used much outside of the U.S. So I just thought that was a little funny. But anyway, 1027 or 2710, however you prefer. I haven't actually watched the whole thing because a lot of it covers stuff that I don't have any interest in, but I watched some of it. I've been too busy to actually get through the whole thing, but I did watch a little bit of it, and I really like seeing the pre-production material, and I'm really encouraged that Hasbro even still has some of those 2-ups in their archive. Hello, James. Nice to see you. Thank you for being here. I know that a lot of the 2-ups and the pre-production prototypes and such, a lot of them are just gone, and some of them are in private collections. In fact, that's how I've seen a lot of them is in private collections when they're brought to a convention. Usually by Joe Declassified. So I just really like that stuff. It's part of the history of the line, and it's really nice to see some that I hadn't seen before. I had never seen the Chuckles 2-up Paint Master before, so that's really cool. 1027 is the number of the villain. Well, okay, so now we know how to stalk Hasbro. Send your love mail, your fan mail, to 1027 something or other, Pawtucket, Rhode Island. Anyway, Sean Beckett is not into classified, but may pick up Shadow Tracker or Helix. So it's only a matter of time before they get to Helix as well. They did the Kamakura figure, and they did the Blue Ninjas. So Yeah, you'll get that. And James has new videos up in this channel. I hadn't seen those, James. I'm glad to know that. I will admit I've been terrible. I've done a terrible job at keeping up with the videos and the stuff that other people have done. Usually I keep up with that a lot better. But lately I am at capacity. I'm doing all that I can. I just don't have I just don't have the time to sit back and relax and watch a lot of the stuff that people are doing nowadays, and I regret that. I regret that because there's still a lot of cool stuff going on in the Joe community. And in fact, Rob Irizarry and Mike Irizarry and Joe and Mark are on What's on Joe Mind, and that's a show that I try to never miss, and yet I have missed. I've missed several episodes, and I really want to get back to that. I miss people. So I'm gonna try to get back to watching other people's shows. Hello, Nyquist. I don't think I said hello to Nyquist. Hello, Sean Beckett. And let's see, for flag repo would be a mic drop moment for Hasbro. Yeah, a flag. I mean, that'd be a tough one. I will say though that at some point they did re-release the Mobile Command Center, so that's pretty sizable. That's pretty sizable. But the flag that would be a tough one. And I think it would be a lot more expensive probably than people think it would be. Oh, thank you, Josiah. What's on your mind a few weeks ago? Mark Weber talked about the Hasbro Dungeon / basement, and the collection was pretty impressive. It's in the back catalog. Yeah, that's good to know. It's good to hear that. And it's also good to know that we have a brand team that is going back there and looking at that stuff. Hello, Chris Purcell. Nice to see you. It's nice to know that somebody that they care enough to go back and dig that stuff up and look at the history and help preserve the history. To me, that's pretty important. So I will say that I do like the brand team that they have on G.I. Joe now. I like Emily, I like Lenny. I think they both seem very nice, and they seem to really be trying to move in directions that fans like and give fans what they want. Now that's never going to be perfect, and there have been some missteps. And there continue to be missteps. Let's be honest. The mistakes were made. Mistakes will continue to be made. But they do seem to really be trying to do the right thing, and they do seem to care about the history. And if you can do that, if you care about doing the right thing and you care about the history, you can correct mistakes. You know, you can get things moving in the right direction. I think some of the steps that have been less well received may not necessarily come from them, because of course, like anything they do, it's got to be approved. They don't have like carte blanche to do anything they want with G.I. Joe. They answer to people above them. So how much is what they want to do versus how much is what they have to do, how much they can get approved. That's hard to say. We probably will never know that, but I do like them, and I do think they're trying, and I appreciate that very much. That's almost all I have on my show prep thing, and we got about 20 minutes. Now we still got to open this. Oh, hey, it's What's on Joe Mind. Well, here, where the hell are the singing cats? You just missed them. And I was actually plugging the damn show earlier. I plugged the damn show earlier in this show. And my apologies to Chris from Comic Tropes. I need to do like an extra long show, like a 2-hour show, and then make the Mad Lib like the whole last half of the show. In fact, I'm going to try to do that. Well, hold on. Let me look at the calendar real quick. Hang on a second. Now that's October. So next week is the 8th. Well, that's election day. The 15th. I might be able to do that. Yeah, well, maybe the 8th. I might do it the 8th. Like a special election day special. So either next week or the following week, I'm just going to plan to do an extra long live stream because I would like to get to that Mad Lib. Now, for those who weren't around, we did a Mad Lib on the 4th of July, 12-hour long live stream, and it was a lot of fun. Chris sent that as well, and that was a lot of fun. We had a great amount of fun with that. And I'd really love to do it again. I want to make sure that we have the time to do it. And I think, yeah, I want to do an extra long live stream. It's been a little bit since I've done that. I think we're due. Jamelin Parks. Oh, hello, Jamelin, by the way. How interested are you in new classified characters and versions of familiar characters? I'd be interested in both, and I think new characters is something that classified could use more of. I don't know if you classify the blue ninjas as new characters, but it would be nice to see. To see classified expand the universe a little bit. Right now, mostly what we're getting is like this. It's a classified version of Stalker, and I love this because Stalker is my favorite character. So of course I want a 6-inch representation of Stalker. Of course I do. But as much as I like this, I think it would be cool to see it expand. And that's one thing that I think they would have tried to do if the Snake Eyes movie were more successful. They would have used that, I think, as a jumping off point to expand. But, we all know how that turned out. But I'd still love to see more. Comic Trope says would love to see some of the comics characters like Billy, Dr. Venom, October Guard. That would also be nice. I mean, they're getting deeper into the catalog, right? Since they're doing Shadow Tracker. So they're getting deeper into the catalog. So they could draw on some of those characters. Michael Mitchell, if you saw Timmer's Halloween-themed video reviewing Fortnite figures, blatant Firefly ripoff he showed. Yes, I did see that, and in fact, I have that figure. For a lot of fans, that was the substitute Firefly at the 6-inch scale, because the actual Firefly figure that they released didn't fit what everybody necessarily wanted. Josiah says, mystery box figure thing. Yes, I know. I won't forget. Thank you, Josiah. I appreciate the reminder. Curtis says hello from Detroit. Hello, Detroit from the United States. Hey, we got peg warmers in here. Hello, peg warmers. I love seeing peg warmers. We've done some expansion of the line with Blue Ninja and a few other characters who have had limited release like Kamakura. Yes, that's correct. I think it would be nice to see more of that, but there's a risk, right? There's a risk in doing new figures of new characters or like lesser known characters, because there are certain characters that have a built-in audience. They have a built-in fan base. They already have the fan base. Right, they're already fans of those characters, and introducing somebody new into that, it's a risk. So it's something that they may not do very much, at least, without some kind of media to support it and to get people interested in that character. But still, I would like to. I'd like to see more of it. I would. But in the meantime, I'm okay with, I'll take my stalker. I'll take my stalker. That doesn't sound great, does it? Hello, Duruti. Nice to see you. Thank you for being there. Duruti loved Renegades. Yes, and Renegades had some figures. But my understanding, I wasn't really actively collecting very much at the time. At least I wasn't collecting modern anything at the time. But my understanding is the timing of the release of the figures for that was not ideal. That's my understanding. Hello, Dr. No Good. How do you do there? What G.I. Joe HasLab project would you like to see? So we got a His tank. It was very successful. Is also fairly expensive. I would like to see something maybe scaled just a little back from the His tank, something that more people will be able to get their hands on, and something on the G.I. Joe side. His tank is iconic. Love it. Either, well, I was going to say something like the Sky Striker, where it's a reissue, a modern issue, updated of an iconic classic vehicle. But I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure we want to go back to that well too much. But something in the 6-inch scale of like a vamp or something along those lines, something on the G.I. Joe side, something to match up against that His tank, something that would be maybe a little bit smaller, but and maybe in a slightly lower price range. I know a lot of people wanted the His tank but just couldn't get it, and I understand that. So I wouldn't mind maybe something like a vamp, something in that category. I think that would be nice. I'd probably go for that. Sean says, unfortunately, lead artist on Renegades passed away shortly after show air. That's sad. I'm sorry. My condolences. Oh, thank you, Rob Vegas. Aussie Rules football version of Captain Gridiron. That'd be all right. That might be better than the actual Gridiron. Armadillo, there you go. See, you're thinking, you're coming up with ideas. These are actually pretty good ideas. There is somebody who's doing a custom mini tank, sort of like the Armadillo. I wish I got their card from Joe Fest, but I didn't get it. But there's somebody making something like that. If you're interested in an Armadillo style vehicle for the classified scale, there is somebody doing those. But an Aussie Rules football version of Captain Gridiron, I would be highly interested in that. Captain Gridiron is a very interesting character with an American football theme. I do think it's funny that the Mark Bellomo Ultimate Guide to G.I. Joe, like in the description, is how much fans hate this figure. And like obviously it's not one of my favorites, but it's not that bad. There are much worse. But on the one hand, he takes the football theme a little too far with the football shaped grenades. That's a little bit silly. But on the other hand, he's wearing a helmet, but it's the wrong shape. It wouldn't work very well either as a combat helmet or a football helmet. So it sort of fits the theme, but not in certain ways. And the uniform that he's wearing, Bazooka actually has a football jersey on, and Captain Gridiron, the figure that's very blatantly football themed, does not have a jersey. He's got something else. A peculiar figure, quite peculiar. I would go for a change. Let's do an Aussie Rules version of Captain Gridiron. I would go for that. Pegwarmers says, don't forget to hit the like button. Thank you very much, Pegwarmers. Also, make sure you follow Pegwarmers. And Kevin from Pegwarmers, just really great guy. I like the guy. Met him a couple of times, and it's He's just cool dude, and a great show. And I would like to see more of Peg Warmers. I hope Peg Warmers is able to produce more. Comic Trope says Hardball is weirder. Hardball. See, I haven't reviewed Hardball. It's a tough one because another sport themed figure, baseball themed figure, and like the overall design, he actually looks more like a baseball player than Gridiron looks like a football player. So he actually keeps with the theme a little bit better. But I think I'm prejudiced about Hardball because as a kid, I thought the figure looked very plain. He has like a mostly white shirt, like a plain white shirt with a little G.I. Joe logo. And he has like monochrome, bottom half with like the brown. What I liked about the figure, well, I like the hat. Hats are just cool, so I like the hat. But and I like the grenade launcher. The grenade launcher is really cool. One of the best accessories, I think, from the vintage era. But as a kid, I just thought the figure looked kind of plain. So it's one where I should review it because I might feel differently doing a review now than when I was a kid. But Lunartix Aliens, twins, Lobotomax and Zabotomol. Thank you, Watsancho Mine. This is why you're here. These are the jokes, folks. Actually, that's pretty good. I like that very much. That's a good one. That's a good one. I'll accept that. I'll take that. So we had let's see. Yeah, he had a baseball, and Casey likes Hardball. See, Casey likes Hardball. Rob says he had a baseball jersey. Yeah, exactly. He looks more like a baseball player. If you were to put Hardball and Captain Gridiron side by side and say, which one is dressed like an actual sport athlete, Hardball wins that. Absolutely. But before we wrap up, we got a few minutes left. I did want to express my thanks to a certain group of people, although I appreciate everyone here. But for those of you who have still supported the channel on Patreon, despite the cutback of new content that I've done, I wanted to say thank you. I appreciate it a lot. It's been invaluable in, helping me along through a transition that I've been making to regular work again after doing videos for almost an entire year as my main source of income. So a special thanks to you, those of you who have continued to support the show. I really appreciate it. It really does mean a lot to me. And we're down to, Josiah reminded us, we are down to this. So this is a micro figure. We have numerous possibilities. I forgot to open this last week, but it could be a G.I. Joe. It could be a Ninja Turtle. So far we have only got Ninja Turtles. No, that's not true. We got a Skeletor. It could be Masters of the Universe, a Mattel product. We got a Skeletor. It could be a Transformer. So let's open this. How lucky do we feel? Type in the live chat from a scale of 1 to 10. How lucky do we feel tonight? Do we feel like? Oh, hello, Diecast Nick. And thank you for being here, and thank you for your support. Yes, Paul Covey, it's time for the unboxing. I'm not forgetting this time. But anyway, how lucky do we feel? From a scale of up here winning the lottery to down here Nordberg from the Naked Gun movies. Winning the lottery down to Nordberg from the Naked Gun movies. So that's the scale of luck. Nordberg rather unlucky. He did get acquitted though, so I guess that's a little lucky. Anyway, so let's see. Thank you for your expressions of the luckometer. I'm gonna later on. I'm gonna have the show's mathematicians add up all those numbers, and that will be our luckometer for the night. But let's do this. This thing's been waiting a week. Let's do it. I gotta cut the tape. I gotta open the box. Inside the box, we have the disclaimer information. We have the giant catalog again, and we have the actual figure itself in a plastic bag. I can't tell. I can't tell what it is. And I should also thank Chris from Comic Tropes. Thank you, Ivan. Yeah, see, Mr. Magoo, another good example. Thank you. But thanks to Comic Tropes for sending the Duke and Roadblock minifigures to me. But let's see. I think it smells like a G.I. Joe. It smells like a G.I. Joe. So let's see. Let's see how lucky we're. I'm opening it right now. All right. I've cut it open. I'm not even. I can't look. We've had such bad luck for so long. I can't. You just tell me what it is. I'm not even gonna look. It's. What is it? It's a He-Man. Well, there we go. That's our luck. We are Nordberg. There's nothing wrong with He-Man, I suppose. I mean, he's got my physique. This is exactly what I look like with my shirt off. But let's take a brief look at He-Man. So, are we sure there are G.I. Joe figures in here? So that we're 0 for 4. 0 for 4. Send it to Peg Warmers. I could do that. Fortunately, the shipping on this is rather inexpensive. See, this thing is... Those comments are okay, YouTube. I don't mind that. Come on. There we go. So, yeah, it's... Let's take a brief look at He-Man. There are his accessories. He comes with the shield... and the sword, and a battle axe, and a figure stand. So, yeah, I went to, an antique shop, one with, the booths that people rent out. One of them had some swords on it, and I picked up every damn one of them and said, by the power of Grayskull. And not one of them transformed me into a muscle man. So again, my luck. Not one single sword in the shop had the power of Grayskull. So this is interesting. We got a Skeletor last time. This is a He-Man to go with it. That chest piece is rather bulky on this guy. I wonder if it mightn't have been better to just sculpt it on, rather than make it a separate piece. But I'm not going to put the accessories on. I'm just going to accept the fact that we are, our luck is terrible and we are forever doomed. And I'll put He-Man back here. But at any rate, it is time for me to wrap up the show. Where there was that one sword that shot you full of steroids, though. Yeah, that's how it really works. So I'll just put him back. But it is time to wrap up the show. It's been really great talking. I'm really glad that we got together. We will get together again next week. In the meantime, remember Timmer's charity. Link is in the description. Remember, assembly required. I will be there. You'll most likely see me on Saturday, even though I will be rolling in late on Friday. We will meet again next week, and I will see you all then. Thank you, everybody, for being here, And I guess I will say good night. Good night, everybody. Bye-bye.